Hi foodie friends, I'm Chef Jessica with Savory Experiments, and today we are making white wine steamed mussels. But before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you get our fresh videos every single Wednesday. Mussels are one of my favorite appetizers, but if we're being honest, girl dinner, I could totally just eat them for my dinner with a loaf of crusty bread. They're super easy to make, and you can usually get fresh mussels from your grocery store straight from Prince Edward Island, which makes them super easy and attainable for a household meal. First, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the right burner of my stove. That would help, right? On low. And I've got about 4 tablespoons of butter. What makes mussels so delicious is the broth that we make them in. So it needs to have a lot of flavor. That broth can then be used on pasta. You could serve it over rice, or like me, I just get a loaf of crusty bread and I mop it up at the end. And now I've got about 4 to 5 cloves, because you can never go wrong with too much garlic. Sliced garlic. So sliced garlic doesn't have as much pungent garlic flavor as a minced or grated garlic. Less of the cells are cut, and that makes it less garlicky. I have half a white onion, half red bell pepper, half yellow bell pepper. Of course, you can use all the same color or green if you'd prefer. You could also use red onion if it suits your fancy. I'm gonna get the butter melted and these things starting to soften before I add the rest of my ingredients. When the butter is melted and the onions and garlic start to become fragrant, we're gonna stir in our sausage. So I like to use an andouille or a chorizo sausage, totally up to you. As you can see, I've already browned it. That browning is gonna add oodles of flavor to both the mussels and the broth. You can do this a day or two ahead of time, and honestly, if you're short on time, just go ahead and add it in. It's already pre-cooked or smoked. I'm also adding in a healthy pinch of saffron. Gives it wonderful floral notes. It's gonna make the broth a beautiful rosy color. Got half a cup, full cup of white wine. Of course, I've already opened this and poured myself a glass. Half a cup of water, a few twists of freshly ground pepper, and a healthy pinch of coarse kosher salt. That sausage is already gonna be a little salty, so I'm not gonna add too much. Bring this to a low simmer. Okay. Our broth is starting to come to a low simmer. I'm gonna go ahead and add, ooh, that was hot right next to the burner. Oops. Add in halved grape tomatoes. If they're small grape tomatoes, you actually don't have to have them. And our mussels. So these guys have already been cleaned and debearded. A little bit over a pound mussels. Just gonna add them right on top of the broth. Spread them out so that they can get the lid on. I'm gonna put the lid on and give them about 4 to 5 minutes to open. Big reveal. Ah! Perfect. These mussels have opened up perfectly, and there is a ton of broth in the bottom. You know what I'm gonna do? Just gonna take this piece of bread and dip it right on in. Look at how buttery and delicious. How dark of a color that is. So good. Let's give it a try. Hopefully I won't completely burn my mouth. Mussels have such a delicious, delicate flavor. They don't need much to really amplify them and bring out their natural shine. This broth is just perfect. The sweetness from the white wine, the onion, the garlic, the peppers, the tomatoes. I'm gonna enjoy my bread after I finish up here. From my kitchen to yours, have a fabulous day.